in the darkest corner of old Earth, where no sunlight reached and no plants grew. There was a place called Sector 9 Slums. This place was full of broken buildings, metal piles, and dirty air. People here were poor. They had no clean water, no real food, and no hope. In one of these broken places lived a young girl named Lena. She was 12 years old. Her clothes were full of holes, her hands were always dirty, and her shoes were made from old tire pieces. She had no family, no friends, only herself. Lena lived inside a rusted, broken shuttle shell. It was cold at night, hot during the day, and smelled like oil and smoke. But it was home. Every morning, Lena left early and went to the junk fields. She looked through garbage, metal scraps, and dead machines. She searched for wires, plastic parts, or small items to trade for food. One cold evening, while searching near the wall of the scrapyard, Lena saw something strange. There was a blue light coming from under a pile of wires. She looked left and right. No one was watching. She quickly climbed over the pile and pulled away the wires. There it was, a small, black object shaped like a doll. But it was not a normal doll. It was made of shiny black metal, and glowing lines ran across its body. The light was soft, like the moon, but it felt warm. "What's this?" Lena whispered. She reached out and touched it. Suddenly, the light grew brighter. A voice echoed inside her head. "Unit active. Human signal verified. Emergency bond initiated." Lena fell back in shock. The object floated up from the ground and hovered near her. Her eyes were wide with fear. What are you?" she asked, shaking. The voice answered calmly, "I'm Guardian Core XJ12. Primary mission, protect bonded human. You are now my primary." Lena didn't understand all the words, but she knew one thing: it had chosen her. The floating object moved toward her wrist and slowly changed shape. In seconds, it became a smooth, silver bracelet. It wrapped itself around her wrist like it belonged there. Lena tried to pull it off, but it didn't move. She felt a soft pulse, like a heartbeat, coming from it. Later that evening, Lena went to see old Murdo, the junk trader. Murdo was an old man with one eye and many scars. He sat near a burning barrel, always smoking something strange. She showed him the bracelet. "Look what I found." Murdo stared at it for a long time. Then he said in a low voice, "Throw it away." "Why? That's military tech, or alien, or both. It's dangerous. If patrol bots see you with it, they'll take you. You'll never come back." "But it picked me," Lena said. "It talks to me." Murdo leaned close. "Even worse. That thing is not a toy, girl. It might be tracking you right now." Lena left quickly. She didn't want anyone to take it. The bracelet didn't feel dangerous. It felt safe. That night, as Lena slept, she had strange dreams. She saw stars, battles, glowing swords, and a man in a long robe with a crown. He looked at her with kind eyes. In the morning, strange things began to happen. First, when she slipped. While climbing a tall pipe, the bracelet glowed and a soft shield caught her. She landed without getting hurt. Later, when the older boys tried to steal her food, the bracelet flashed again. A wave of light pushed them back without hurting them. They ran away, scared. Lena didn't know what was happening, but she felt stronger, faster, safer. Word spread in the slums. The slum girl has space magic. She has alien tech. Maybe she's a spy. Some people were afraid. Others wanted to steal it. Lena began to hide during the day and move only at night. Far above old Earth, in a giant ship floating in space, the Emperor watched her on a screen. His name was Kale Valen, ruler of the human systems. He wore a long silver robe and a crown made of crystal. A man beside him said, "The Guardian Corps has bonded with a slum child, Your Grace. What are your orders?" The Emperor did not speak for a moment. Then he said, "She didn't find it. It found her. Shall we retrieve it?" "No." The Emperor said, "Retrieve her." Back in the slums, Lena was hiding behind a trash bin when the sky lit up. A golden ship, shaped like a falcon, hovered silently above her shelter. People screamed and ran. A blue light came down from the ship. The bracelet on Lena's wrist pulsed fast. Lena, it said, friendly unit detected. Do not be afraid. The door to her shelter opened slowly. A tall woman in white armor stepped in. Her face was kind, and her eyes were soft. Lena of Sector 9, the woman said, you are requested by the Emperor. Lena gasped me. Why? The woman smiled. Because the stars chose you. And now, so has he. The golden ship landed without a sound. Its smooth metal body glowed like the sun. Everyone in the slum watched from a distance, hiding behind walls and metal sheets. No one had ever seen a ship like this. It didn't look like a patrol craft. It looked royal. Lena stood still. The woman in white armor stepped toward her with calm steps. Are you going to take me away? Lena asked in a small voice. The woman knelt so they were eye to eye. Only if you say yes. Why me? Lena asked again. The woman touched Lena's shoulder gently. Because the Guardian Corps chose you, and the Emperor believes in its choice. Lena looked at the bracelet on her wrist. It felt warm again. Lena, said the bracelet. Boarding is safe. This is a high-level Imperial vessel. No danger detected. Lena still felt unsure, but something inside her whispered, go. She had lived in garbage her whole life. Maybe, just maybe, this was her way out. I'll go, she whispered. The woman smiled. Good. My name is Commander Rhea. I'll protect you on this journey. Rhea gently took Lena's hand and led her toward the golden ship. The crowd watched in silence. Some were jealous, some were afraid. But no one stopped her. Inside the ship, everything looked like magic. The floors were smooth and shiny. The walls glowed softly with golden light. There was no smell of smoke or rust. Everything was clean, quiet, and peaceful. A small robot floated by and offered Lena a warm towel. She didn't know what to do with it, so she just smiled awkwardly. Commander. Rhea led her into a seat. It was soft and shaped perfectly for her size. Once she sat down, a screen appeared in front of her, showing stars and ships. This is space? Lena asked. Yes, Rhea said. You'll see it for real very soon. The ship rose into the sky. Lena felt her stomach twist. She had never flown before. Through the window, she watched the slums grow smaller and smaller. Then clouds. Then darkness and then stars. Lena gasped. She had never seen so many. They were not just white dots. Some were blue. Some were red. They twinkled like tiny diamonds. And then, far away, she saw a shape bigger than anything she had ever imagined. It was a giant starship, floating like a city in space. That's the Radiant Vow, Rhea said. The Emperor's flagship. Lena's eyes widened. It's huge, yes. It holds gardens, libraries, training halls, and more. Lena's hands shook. Why would someone like me go there? Rhea looked at her and said gently, because you're more than you know. When the ship docked with the Radiant Vow, golden doors opened, and Lena stepped out slowly. There were guards in silver armor standing straight. They didn't smile, but they nodded at her respectfully. Lena had never been treated like this before. In the slums, people pushed her, shouted at her, or ignored her. Here, they looked at her like she mattered. They walked through bright halls with glass walls showing the stars. Lena kept staring. Everything was so beautiful, so clean. Finally, they reached a large room. It had a high ceiling and glowing lights shaped like falling stars. In the center stood a man with silver hair, wearing long robes. A crown floated just above his head. This was Emperor Kael'Valen. He turned slowly and looked at Lena with kind eyes. He didn't look angry. He didn't look powerful in a scary way. He looked peaceful. Lena froze. She didn't know how to speak. She bowed quickly, remembering something she had seen once in an old holo film. The Emperor walked forward slowly and bent to her level. You don't have to bow, he said kindly. You're not just a visitor. You're important now. Lena looked up, eyes wide. Why me? The Emperor smiled. Because when the last Guardian Corps activated, it could have picked anyone. A general, a scientist, a soldier. But it picked you. That means something. I'm just a slum girl, Lena said. You are Lena of Earth, he replied. and the stars chose you. He placed a gentle hand on her head and then very softly kissed her forehead. Lena's heart skipped a beat. No one had ever shown her such care. Tears filled her eyes, but she wiped them quickly. Later, she was taken to a soft room full of books and clean clothes. A small robot brought her real food, not old scraps. She stared at the plate. There was warm soup, fresh bread, and sweet fruit. Lena took a bite and almost cried. She had never tasted anything so good. As she ate, Commander Rhea entered again. Tomorrow, your training begins. Training? Lena asked. Yes, the Guardian Core you wear is one of the strongest AI tools in human history. You need to learn how to use it. Lena looked at the bracelet. It glowed softly, like it was listening. I don't know anything. Rhea smiled. That's why you'll learn. The Emperor believes in you. Lena nodded slowly. For the first time in her life, she felt something strange. She felt hope. Lena woke up in a soft bed. The blanket was warm and clean. The room smelled like flowers, not smoke or oil like in the slums. For a moment, she didn't move. It felt like a dream, but it was real. She sat up slowly and looked at the bracelet on her wrist. It was glowing a soft blue. Good morning, Lena, the bracelet said. Good morning, she whispered back. Still unsure if she was really on a ship in space. The door opened with a quiet sound. Commander Rhea stepped in with a smile. Sleep well? Lena nodded. Yes. Better than ever. Good. Today is your first training session. Lena stood up quickly. Training for what? Rhea walked over and held out a simple white uniform. To understand what the Guardian Core can do, it is more than just protection. It is a gift, and you must learn how to use it soon. Lena stood in a large white room with glowing walls. This was the training hall. It had no chairs, no weapons, only open space. A kind-looking old man stepped forward. He wore a long brown coat and glasses. This is Master Yorin, Rhea said. He trains all those who carry ancient tech. Lena bowed. Hello, sir. Yorin smiled. No need to be afraid. We will go slowly. First, show me your bracelet. Lena raised her arm. The Guardian Core blinked once. Yorin stepped closer and looked at it carefully. This is the last Guardian Core. The others were lost in the war many years ago. Do you know what it can do? Not really, Lena said honestly. It saved me a few times. It talks to me sometimes. Yorin nodded. It does more than talk. With the right bond, it can create shields, skin enemies, repair wounds, and even control machines. Lena's eyes grew wide. It can do all that, yes, but only if it trusts you. And if you trust yourself. For the next few hours, Lena learned slowly. Master Yorin guided her with patience. At first, Lena struggled. She couldn't focus. She didn't believe she could do anything. I'm not smart, she told Yorin. I didn't go to school. I lived in trash. Yorin shook his head. Courage and heart matter more than books. He showed her how to focus her thoughts. The Guardian Core responded when she felt scared. The bracelet dimmed, but when she felt calm and brave, it glowed brighter. They practiced creating a small energy shield. It took many tries, but finally, a soft blue bubble appeared around her hand. Lena smiled. I did it. Yes, Yorin said proudly. You're learning fast. Later that evening, she walked through a glass hallway on the ship. The stars outside twinkled, and she could see other ships passing by. She thought of the slums, of cold nights, empty stomachs, and hiding from danger. Now she was here on a starship, being trained by great people. Why me? She whispered to herself. Because you are strong. The bracelet replied. Even when you had nothing, you never gave up. Lena sat down by the window and watched the stars. She missed nothing from the slums, except maybe the silence of the nights. Here, everything felt new and full of meaning. The next day, her training grew harder. While Ryan taught her how to use the Guardian Core to scan machines. In the practice room, she touched an old broken robot. The bracelet glowed and showed her what was wrong inside the robot like a map in her mind. She also learned how to push things using energy. It felt like moving things with invisible hands. When She asked the bracelet how it knew so much. It answered, "My memory holds knowledge from the old empire. I was made to serve the one who leads with heart." Lena looked at her reflection in the wall. She didn't look like a leader, just a thin girl with messy hair. But maybe, just maybe, she was becoming something more. One evening, after training, the Emperor invited her again. This time, he met her in a peaceful garden inside the ship. The plants were real, birds chirped softly, and water flowed through small streams. Lena sat on a bench while the Emperor sipped tea. "You're doing well," he said. "I'm trying," Lena replied. "I heard you made a full shield today." She smiled. "Only for 5 seconds. That's enough for now. It took my best soldiers weeks to do that." Lena looked down. "What happens next?" The Emperor's face grew serious. "Many people don't want the Guardian Corps to return. They think power like that is too dangerous. Are they coming for me? Maybe? That's why you must keep training. You are not just carrying a tool. You are carrying hope." Lena nodded slowly. The Emperor stood up and walked toward her. He placed his hand gently on her head again. "I believe in you, Lena. Not because of the bracelet, but because of your heart." That night, as she lay in bed, she stared at the ceiling. She had touched the stars. She had made a shield. The Emperor had spoken to her like she was someone important. Maybe this was just the beginning. Lena was getting stronger every day. Her training with Master Yorn was not easy, but she learned quickly. She could now create a full energy shield for more than 10 seconds. She could scan broken machines and understand how to fix them. The Guardian Core on her wrist glowed brighter than ever before. Even Commander Rhea said, "You are learning faster than any student I've seen." Lena still felt like the same girl from the slums inside, but something was changing. She was no longer afraid. She walked with confidence. People on the ship nodded to her when she passed. Some even smiled. But peace never lasts long in the stars. One day, as Lena trained in the quiet garden hall, a loud alarm filled the air. Red lights flashed. A deep voice spoke over the ship's speakers. "Warning, unidentified ship detected. All crew to alert stations." Commander Rhea ran into the garden. "Lena, stay close to me." "What's happening?" Lena asked. "We've been found." "By who?" Rhea looked serious. "By those who want the Guardian Core. They've come for you." The golden halls of the Radiant Vow turned into a hive of movement. Soldiers moved quickly. Defense drones hovered in formation. The main screen showed a large black ship floating near them. Its design was sharp and cold. "That's a Shadow Fleet ship," Rhea explained. "They're not part of the Empire. They work for themselves and they want power." Lena stared at the screen. "How did they find me?" "The Guardian Core sends out a signal when active. It can't be fully hidden. They must have been searching for it for years." On the bridge, Emperor Kale stood tall, looking at the enemy ship. He gave orders calmly. "Do not attack unless fired upon," he said. "Prepare shields, Lena. Stay behind the guards." But it was too late for peace. Without warning, the shadow ship fired. A red beam struck the side of the Radiant Vow, shaking the whole ship. Sparks flew. Lights flickered. "Shields at 70%, shouted one of the officers. "Return fire," the Emperor said firmly. The Imperial ship fired back. The space around them lit up like fireworks. Lena held onto a railing as the ship shook again. "Lena," the Guardian Corps said, "you are in a combat zone." Shield activated. A soft blue bubble formed around her, protecting her from falling debris. "I want to help," Lena said to Rhea. Rhea looked at her. "You're not ready for battle yet." "I'm not afraid." "I know," Rhea said gently, "but bravery must walk with wisdom." The enemy ship launched small fighters. They looked like black insects flying through space. They hit hard and fast. Some tried to board the Radiant Vow. One group broke into the lower deck. Commander Rhea's team rushed to stop them. Lena stayed back, hiding behind a pillar. But then, she heard cries for help. A group of young cadets had been trapped behind a locked door. A fire blocked their path. Lena ran toward them without thinking. "Wait!" someone shouted. She didn't stop. The fire roared, but Lena raised her hand. The Guardian Core glowed bright. emergency shield, full power. A bubble of light surrounded her and pushed through the flames. Lena reached the door and touched. Skin complete. Manual lock detected. She focused hard. The bracelet sent a signal. The door unlocked with a loud click. The cadets ran out, coughing and shaking. You saved us. One said. Lena smiled, even though her heart was racing. When the attack finally ended, the shadow ship was badly damaged. It escaped into deep space, but the Radiant Vow had protected its people. The Emperor stood on the main deck, proud and calm. Damage report, he asked. Minor. An officer replied, we lost no lives, and the girl, she's safe. And her brave. She saved a group of cadets. The Emperor nodded. She is more than we thought. That night, the ship was quiet again. Repairs had started. The stars outside looked peaceful. But everyone knew more danger would come. Lena sat in the garden hall, tired but proud. The air smelled like flowers again. The lights were soft. Commander Rhea sat beside her. You did well today. I just wanted to help. And you did, Rhea said. You acted like a true protector. Lena looked at the stars. Are they going to come again? Probably. You carry something powerful. Many will want it. Lena was quiet for a while. Then she said, then I'll get stronger. Rhea smiled. You already are. The next morning, the Emperor called Lena to the Hall of Light, the heart of the ship. It was a room full of glass and golden designs. In the center stood the Emperor. Lena stepped forward. Her feet echoed on the marble floor. The Emperor spoke. Loudly, let it be known across the stars, Lena of Earth is now under my protection. She carries the Guardian Core. She is no longer just a slum girl. She is a defender of peace. Lena stood tall. She wasn't the same girl who dug through trash, afraid and cold. She was Lena of the light now. Days passed after the attack. The Radiant Vow moved slowly through space, far away from danger. Inside the great ship, everything was being repaired: walls, wires, defense drones. But something else was also being rebuilt. Lena's heart. She was no longer scared. She trained every day, studied every night, and listened to her teachers. She was not just surviving anymore. She was becoming strong. One morning, Commander Rhea came to her room with serious news. Lena, she said, we are going to the Star Forge. Lena blinked. What's that? It's an ancient space station built long ago. Before the old war, the Guardian Core was made there. Lena looked at the glowing bracelet on her wrist. You mean, this thing was created there? Yes, and now the Forge is calling. They left in a small ship called the Silver Light. Rhea, Master Yorin, and a few guards came with her. The journey took hours, flying past broken moons and silent stars. Then, they saw it, floating in space like a sleeping giant. The Star Forge glowed with golden lines. Its rings spun slowly. Long towers reached into the darkness. Lena pressed her face to the window. It's beautiful. It's also dangerous, Rhea said softly. Many who enter never return. Lena's smile faded. Then why are we going? Because the Guardian Core is changing. It's growing stronger. We need to understand why. As they landed inside the forge, the lights turned on by themselves. A deep humming filled the air, like a machine waking up after a long sleep. Lena stepped onto the silver floor. Her bracelet glowed brighter than ever before. Welcome, Core Bearer, a voice said. You have returned. Lena looked around. Who said that? Yorin pointed to the glowing walls. The forge is alive. It speaks only to those chosen. The voice continued. Guardian Core XJ12 active. Confirmed bond with human unit. Lena of Earth. Access granted. Doors opened by themselves. Golden light poured in. Let's go, Rhea said. Inside, they saw strange things: giant machines, floating crystals, glowing panels covered in old symbols. The forge showed them images from long ago, a time when Guardian Cores were worn by brave humans who protected peace across the stars. Lena watched silently. One of the ancient warriors looked like her. You see, Yorin said, you're part of something old and powerful. But I'm just one girl, Lena said. You are more than that now. The deeper they went, the louder the hum became. The Guardian core on Lena's wrist was now pulsing, like a beating heart. Suddenly, a new voice echoed around them, cold and sharp. Unauthorized presence detected. Access denied. Lena looked around. What was that? The lights turned red dot from the walls. Strange metal shapes came out. Security drones. They looked like spiders with glowing red eyes. Defense. Bots, Rhea shouted. Back up. But the door behind them closed tight. We're trapped, Yorn said. Lena stepped forward. Let me try something. She raised her hand. The Guardian core glowed. Defense override requested. The core said, Command, stand down. The drones paused. One twitched, another beeped. Then clicked. They turned off and floated back. Into the walls. The lights turned golden again. You did it, Rhea said. Surprised, I think. It listens to me now, Lena said. They reached the heart of the forge. A round chamber with floating platforms and a glowing sphere in the center. The bracelet pulled Lena forward, core sensing. It said, Memory update beginning. Lena stood in front of the sphere. It shined bright and warm. Then light shot into her mind. She saw images, not her own. The first Guardian core being built. The war that broke the galaxy. The last mission. The moment her core was hidden on Earth. She saw soldiers protecting it. She saw the reason. Only one with a kind heart and strong will may carry the final core. The voice whispered. Tears came to Lena's eyes. They trusted someone would find it. Someone like me. The bracelet's voice returned. You're ready. Full access unlocked. Power limit removed. A soft glow spread across her body. The core melted into her skin like light. It wasn't just a tool now, it was part of her. Back in the chamber, an old console lit up. A hologram of a tall woman appeared. She wore armor shaped like stars. To the next bearer, the hologram said, You carry more than power. You carry the dream of peace. The image faded. Rhea placed a hand on Lena's shoulder. You were meant to find it. Yorn nodded. Now the galaxy must know. They left the forge safely. As the silver light flew back toward the radiant Val, Lena stared at the stars. She didn't feel afraid anymore. She didn't feel small. She felt ready. The Emperor welcomed her back with a proud smile. You found the truth, he said. I found a purpose. She replied. He bowed his head slightly. Lena of Earth, core bearer, defender of light, your real journey begins now. Lena stood at the edge of the command deck, wearing a silver cloak given to her by the Emperor himself. Her bracelet, the Guardian core, no longer looked like just a tool. It glowed with soft light, wrapped like living armor around her wrist and forearm. She had come far from the trash piles of Sector 9 to the heart of the Imperial fleet. But her journey was not over. A deep voice filled the air. Enemy fleet approaching. Shadow ships detected. The same force that had attacked the Radiant Val weeks ago had returned stronger, larger. An angry dot. They wanted the core. They wanted Lena. Inside the main war room, holograms of ships floated in the air. Red dots showed enemy positions. Blue ones showed the Emperor's fleet. They outnumber us. Commander Rhea said, 3-1. We will not run, the Emperor said. This is where we make our stand. Then he turned to Lena. We need your help. Lena nodded. What do I need to do? Yorn, standing nearby, explained. The core can do more than protect. It can connect. If you link with the ship's systems, you can guide our defenses, power our shields, maybe even disable enemy ships. Lena looked unsure. What if I'm not strong enough? Rhea stepped forward. You've saved people before. You can do it again. The Emperor placed his hand gently on her shoulder. You're not that slum girl anymore. You are the light this galaxy needs. In the center of the ship was the control nexus, a round room full of wires, glowing circles, and humming machines. Lena stepped into it slowly. She sat in the core chair, and her bracelet glowed. Guardian core ready. Sync with ship systems. Yes, Lena said. Streams of golden light shot out from the bracelet. They connected to the walls, the floor, and the ceiling. Lena closed her eyes. Suddenly, she could feel the ship. She felt the engines like muscles. She felt the shields like skin. She felt the people on board afraid, but hopeful. All systems linked. said the Corps. Awaiting commands, the battle began. Shadow ships came in fast, firing red lasers. The sky outside turned into flashing lights and silent explosions. The radiant vow shook, but it stood strong. Lena, focused, power to front shields, she said. Return fire. Protect the transport ships. Her voice echoed through the command system. The bracelet worked like magic. Where she looked, the ship reacted. Where she focused, power flowed. An enemy fighter broke through and tried to land inside the radiant vow. Lena sensed it. Send. Defense. Drones. Block entry. The drones moved like birds, fast and bright. They stopped the fighter before it could break in. Ria's voice came through the speaker. Good call, Lena. You just saved the medical bay. But the battle wasn't over. Yet, a massive shadow cruiser moved to the front. Its size was terrifying. Its weapons charged. Orion gasped. That's the Black Dagger, the ship of their war leader. The Emperor turned to Lena. Can you stop it? I'll try, she said. Lena reached deep into the core. Engage full. Connection, override command system. Her body glowed. The Guardian Core sent power through every line of the ship. The lights flickered. The engines roared louder. A beam of golden energy shot out from the radiant vow, hitting the Black Dagger. Its shields cracked. Its weapons failed. And then, slowly, it began to fall back. The Shadow Fleet panicked. One by one, their ships turned and ran. They're retreating, someone shouted. They're leaving. A cheer rose from every corner of the ship. The battle was won. Lena sat back in the chair, breathing hard. The lights in the room dimmed. As the core powered down, you did it, whispered Ria, who had rushed to her side. No, Lena said softly. We did it. That night, the ship was quiet again. Stars shone calmly outside the windows. Lena stood on the Emperor's balcony, looking at the galaxy she had helped protect. The Emperor joined her. Do you know what you've done today? I helped save lives, Lena said. You helped save peace, he replied. And you showed the galaxy that heroes can come from anywhere, even from the slums of old Earth. Lena looked up. What happens now? You will be trained further. The Corps has accepted you fully. One day, you may train others or lead missions of your own. She smiled. I'd like that. Later, a ceremony was held in the Hall of Stars. Soldiers, captains, and commanders stood in silence. The Emperor spoke. Lena of Earth, bearer of the Guardian Core, protector of this fleet, we honor you. He stepped forward, and again, as he had done before, he placed a gentle kiss on her forehead. Lena closed her eyes. No one had ever shown her love before. Now, the stars were watching. From that day forward, she was known across the galaxy as Lena the Bright, not because of the bracelet. Not because of power, but because she carried hope even when she had nothing.